Leroy Jenkins. Fucking 40 minutes left. 40 seconds left. So we can what can I hear myself? That shouldn't have happened. I can hear myself. That shouldn't have happened. 20 seconds. Or down my mic. Someone to pull people's ears off. So yeah, shout out to the two people that are watching right now. I'm pretty sure one of them's me. Whoever the other person is, I love you. Thank you very much. You're probably thinking, Jill, where's your sexy face? Well, don't worry. In 7 seconds, you'll get to see it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's this starty horse? So yeah, I decided to play the beginner's guide. I just need to make sure you can hear the desktop audio because it is not showing up. It should be showing. Surely it should be showing up. Surely it should be showing up. Yeah, you can hear it. That's all good. I need to hurry up though. I'll put it up a good bit. There we go, Sandra. Hold on, back down. It's in my ears. Right, let's get chat back up. Right, we should be Okie Smokes. We should be folks. 3 people in chat. What's the story, Matt? You just know me, man's in chat. So yeah. I decided to come back streaming today. If you didn't know, boy is fucking internet's fucked. Yeah, I decided to get back streaming, and I decided to stream a game called the Beginner's Guide. If you don't know what the Beginner's Guide is, it's based on a guy, and his friend is a video game designer. I'll just get into it. Just fucking see. Alright, Mary. Good me back streaming. Make sure your audio is on. My nipples are showing on stream. Controls WSAD and right click on the mouse. Okay.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide.
Good evening.
My name is Davey Reedon.
Yes,
I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda.
Okay.
Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction.
Okay.
I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made.
Okay.
It's a level for Counter-Strike.
Okay.
You can walk around here, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
Okay.
And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves.
This hits home
I
with
want to
me.
get to know who this human being really is.
Because I
And that's
went to
exactly
college
what we're going to do here.
and I met one of my best friends.
So,
And we were
it's
doing games on
2008.
development.
Coda starts making these games,
So that's
and
why I wanted
he
to
never
play this
releases
game.
any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever.
Okay.
And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder.
Okay.
So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made. until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com.
Okay, Davey, I will.
Okay, that's about it for introduction.
I will
Let's
let
take
you
a look
know.
at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Thank you to the person who liked, by the way. I just saw it pop up there. I'm going to change these lights behind me because they're green now. I'm going to change them to red. Jay Shock Blast! Oh my fucking god, man! Holy smokes. I respect you so much.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Oh my god. Ah, downhill. This is very loud in my ears, by the way.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
Ooh,
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Yeah,
For
you
instance,
can't
you
access
have
any
this
of the
gun,
rooms.
which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Yep.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Or no respect
Force
it.
neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Holy shit. That takes so much work to do. That's what I love about video games. They can mean anything and people will play. Oh shit. no,
Apparently
guys.
this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Thank you. Not going back there and doing that.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives,
So you're telling me I have to
would you give
sacrifice
yourself?
myself to save everyone else? Obviously, dead. Move on to the game. We have to, but that's... Yeah.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
So I guess I have to jump back in. Holy shit.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know.
This
I have
Milky
no
Way
idea what he
background
was
is fucking
thinking,
badass.
but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Let's go. Load November 2008. The past was behind her. Oh, you can only
In
walk
this
backwards.
game, you can only walk backwards.
That's so cool. Pretty weird though, but
So
but
it's
the
a
future
short
could not
and
be seen.
relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative.
Keep changing.
It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused,
Why
more
does the future
complete.
keep changing?
Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clear. But the future is always behind her. How would she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay, pitch black. Gravel. I'm walking backwards. I'm walking forwards. You are now entering. Where are we going? Where are we going? I jump.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
I will, Davey. I trust you.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Nonsense is nearly every direction.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Just like there's. Walking up the stairs. I'd actually love to see what this guy's thinking making these games. Because they're so unique and so complex that it's
Once you've been
weird.
slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
I'm very intrigued. Look, I'm actually very, very intrigued to see what it is. Ooh. Stand on an X there and at a bird of 3 hours. You run a shop inside your own body, selling your organs strategically to make the most money before you die. This game is nothing but giant blocks of text
A
explaining
room
what's
that's
happening.
warm
Start in a
and
small
nice
room until you
and
realise you
filled
can just
with little
walk through the
ideas for
walls.
games.
Serious, lavish manuals come with the game, giving you incorrect instructions on how to play. You are a queen,
Coda would often
busting
tell
your
me that
jewelry
he didn't
while your
mind if
kingdom is
people thought of
destroyed.
him as cold or distant. He said that he knew
It's
that he was
destroyed.
actually a vibrant and
I
compassionate
asked the
person.
camera filming
but
and
that it takes
advertising
time to
walking
really
around
see
and
that.
say whatever you like.
It
Press
can be
you
a
to
very
surrender.
slow climb to get there.
A strange person. So these are all his games that he wanted to make. And now we're loading January 2009. Ready, set, fish. I'll just need that. Uno momento, por favor. What do you... continue. So run, ready, set, fish.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
It's a door.
Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
I can't solve it. Start clicking random stuff on the door. Do I open this door? Ah, it's behind the door.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Just 3 random dots on the wall. See, told you, gravestone don't have to mean anything. I look this wood though. This wood texture is very, very nice. And then the lights and all, it gives it, for some reason it gives me a warm sense of feeling. Like I'm home.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. So when I press enter, it will remove all the walls. Holy shit.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing.
There was a lot more
I
to
actually
it.
find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Low in January 2009. We're back to the You Are Entering game. You are now exiting.
Aha! So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
I think the bigger picture is his games are fucking awesome. Bright and lovely descent. Descent.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Good old engine.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Is she?
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I think we broke it. I just jumped off. Unless that's what you're supposed to do. Oh, let me go over to it. Ah, shit. Kangaroo. What the hell?
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Really?
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, they're lovely.
This
Imagine this guy, David. He's like, he's playing all these
whether
games
a game
and
ought
he's
to
like,
actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
This game's like, don't go. There's probably a big hidden maiden behind this one, just not copping on because I'm an idiot. I'd love to be able to make stuff like this.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Okay, I'm down with that. I am down with that, David. David Blaine. Listen. You off work? We're listening? You there, did you come from
Here,
up above?
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's
Yes,
chat
there was
capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
You there, did you come from above? I was up there, yes, there was a world stamped with whiteness, yes, there was an enormous prison I spent hours in, yes, there were these flowing coloured blocks. My number's like, chill. That's the world above you, been there? And this is important, did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and a switch? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before I come here. No, I don't remember having to go through any puzzle. Prefer not to tell you after all we've just met. Let's go for number 3. Let's see what it does. I prefer not to tell you after all we just met. What? For you don't understand. We are trapped here. That puzzle is our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. I'll describe it for you. Let me tell you all about what is over there, or I'll tell you how to solve it. Oh no, but we do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It is an important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you there's nothing I want more. I think, if you truly ask me, I truly think that Coda was going through something when making these games, and he just... Look, I suffer, in a way, I suffer how to express my feelings to people. I don't know how. I bottle a lot of things up inside, but lately I've been starting journaling for some reason. I've been writing down how I've been feeling, and it's been kind of working. So maybe my way of journaling is Coda's way of development. If you know what I mean. Also, I need to start wearing glasses too. Jesus Christ. Oh, the door opened. Oh, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes, thing one, to know how to solve, and now I've been through this door room. Oh no, we actually found the black space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it? What would I care about the space between the doors? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange to pass through it. I don't recall a space between the doors. Okay. Where are we going?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. I'm down. I'm ready to rock. Loading April 2009. This game is connected to the internet. Walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you were seeing are left by other players. Nice room. No. Fucking trolls, man.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce
How do
this,
you beat
but
this
this
guy?
game is not connected to the internet.
No point in
All of
this.
the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I
Whoa,
met him
holy shit.
at a weekend game jam in Sacramento,
Can
where
you
I
go his Hermie?
I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so
Hello?
different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like,
Reasonable.
I have to be friends with this person.
Everyone read
In
this.
retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy
Hey!
trying to get his attention.
This place makes me sad.
I was over enthusiastic. But
So-
he was very gracious about it and
I
very
want to tell you a
patient.
secret. Once upon a time we did,
And I
I just
cooled
stopped.
off eventually.
The
Oh,
foil
feel free
foil.
to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing
Okay,
extra is
well.
going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person
That was
who's
the word
filled
grass
with
and concrete here,
thoughts
what the fuck?
and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
What the shit is this cavern? Or
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt,
I'll show you a
that we
guarantee there's
get to
an
know him
acorn
better
somewhere
and
around this
actually
place.
kinda
The
connect.
sailors are looking for it.
and I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just
Hey guys, just
play
looking for
someone's
someone to
game
talk with.
and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person
refuse to believe.
socializing. I could just get to know you through your work.
Put ass, put.
I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so
I need to
much.
go to the
Is
freaking
because it
bathroom.
felt like they let me have that connection.
Recognize me,
I felt
please.
as though he was inviting me personally into his world.
There's
And
no
then
here
I
to go
feel
back.
less lonely too.
Don't listen to that guy. Free t-shirt. On the other side door, will you so? Door have open. Open sesame. Make aim close door, cannot open door, thanks. Typical internet, but what makes it worse is he's running all these himself. We help people because of the internal good feeling like it. Holy shit. So he done all these himself. It's not even very crowded now. Don't bother. Where do I go off? I'm just gonna zip through them. I was fucking loads of them. Stop turning back, proceed. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Cabbage shapes our nation. Doesn't matter if you ever get over it. This is a no. Don't listen to the other notes. They're lies. The cake's a lie. Ooh, abstract painting. Very blotchy. Very blotchy. We will all die someday. Spoilers, that doesn't mean Devil Tower Star. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. Must be a reason. I say this took him hours to do. Terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
I wish there were notes on real world. Billy, I'm gonna give you a little quick, if you want, reload what this game is.
After exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Does this puzzle have a solution? Oh my god, I've been here for literally an hour, what the fuck do I do? Shit, how do you solve it? This does make the second door won't open. Developer answer, please. So this is him, he's the developer and he's writing this for the whole thing. So, a little thing. This guy, as you know, with game design development, I remember watching this before I even thought about doing any of the shit that I'm doing now, live streaming. I watched it on Jacksepticeye's channel and it stuck with me. Because it's something that I want to do. I want to develop games. But the whole premise of this game is a guy gets access to another developer's games. And he's going through them.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
We do this. And open here. Where's the second switch? I'm heading back to the start. I was just saying the whole room was filled with comments that he left himself. How do you leave notes? Where's that lamp again? No, I am just streaming on YouTube at the minute. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak. After look, I sit here for a while and porn stars die too.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
I decided to stick with YouTube. I won't be streaming on Twitch. There's a well. There's a couch. Okay. I thought they, I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were dicks. Not. Evelyn, we are going outside. We're in the well.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway.
Yeah,
Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison.
Stuck in the well!
Over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Where's the furniture at? What furniture out to go in the centre of the room? How about TV or surrounding or put a giant hole in the ground? I want to see a giant hole in the ground. No? Okay, now what about along the wall? Let's put a huge picture of a horse. I'd really like a washing machine. 10 stoves lined up along the wall. A huge picture of a horse. So even and brown bollocks. That's what woke does you, man. I think we should add light up in this room. A skylight full ceiling. I'm thinking 10 by 8. Seating electric 6-inch soft LED ceiling light. Yeah, they'll put in live Tesla coils in each corner. A tree. And a table. You need the table. Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference. Tables were invented in 1935. What? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making a difference. Which the fucking are.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything.
I mean,
it's
like,
kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
And amazing stuff.
So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully, take care that you remember each step. First click the table. Good, go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Okay boss. To turn the floor lamp in this room off and then turn it back on. Okay. I go to the left side sofa and move over a little. Where the fuck's the sofa and left side? This one? Only touch the shelves. That's it. In the real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start and be taken back to your prison. Okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
That's cool.
Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea.
In the well.
Nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on?
Upside down.
But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it.
What's he hit?
And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually...
I'm not going to make a prison game. I'm just going to sit here one of the days, put the headphones in, get a copy, and write out a game that I want to make, and hopefully make it. What do you think? Because I have to get back into coding anyways. I want to make a game. Right, here's the thing. This may sound stupid, but it was always a big idea in my head. I want to make a game based directly on sound. So you put the headphones on, close your eyes, and you just, from there, it's directly sound. Obviously, I'll have like keyboard WASD to move, but other than that, it's just sound. Sick. Elon Musk, sponsor me. I'll make it happen. Give me time, baby. That's all I need. I think I'm streaming later too. I think I'm either streaming or I'm doing a video with Jack. I'd say it is. Hello. Oh, the pop down at the bottom. I thought you had to put a number in. Just gonna ring myself. Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. You after you escape prison. You're me? You were trapped in prison too. In this prison too. Yep, I was in the furniture maze. Yep, I was in the escape disorder. Yep, I was in the reverse prison.
And so this is what Coda wants.
In the furniture
is to be
maze.
able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
That's where I am right now. Oh, I'm so
But
glad
the
to
irony
know
is
that
that
we
even
get out
in this
eventually.
scenario, you're still talking to yourself.
That's a loot to escape.
You know, all of these games so
Actually,
far
I'm
are
already
Coda
forgetting what
talking
being
to
in prison
himself.
is like. It's strange, but in a way, I kind of miss being in prison. It's like being completely still and wildly emotional at the same time. It's strange, but in a way, I kind of miss skipping what I said. What's it like? It's strange, but in a kind of way, why was there anything about it that you felt good about? Being here sucks. True, maybe I only like things once, I don't have them anymore. I was comfortable, I knew its limits, I knew my place, but don't you feel excited about getting out the promise of freedom? I was comfortable, I knew its limits, I know my place. Is that good though? Comfortable, but it's inhuman. I couldn't live this way. You don't need that, you just need to be patient. Having limits is way more important than you probably realise right now. See what I'm talking about when you've been there a while longer. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you're trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Yes, I did get a call, that's how I escaped. Let's see what it says. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. Let's see how he feels. Whisper Road is packing. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. What? Tell free me, how does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Just tell me how you feel, it'll make sense. Let's keep pushing him to see how he feels. Okay, I feel afraid that nothing will ever change. Oh shit, this game's getting deep all of a sudden. Go on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh man, look at this environment.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle.
It's
with
sexy.
2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
How do I go up to that door? Or will I not be able to walk the hill? No,
Just so you're aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
Dave, why didn't you not tell me that, man? Walking up to the door. I have to go in the house. Nope, it's one of these guys. Oh my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that would be. Everyone knows lonesome hands that make lousy homes. Don't worry about me. Place this.
You'll notice
Don't
that
worry
the
about me.
quality
I
of the
placed
art
this
is a
nice
step
up. I'm
up
glad
from
to stay here
previous
all night.
games,
And lousy homes
including
make
this
home
new and
loners.
improved chat system,
clean this
which
whole
he
place.
started using from this point on.
Don't worry
From
about
here on
me.
out,
I
he
placed
begins
this nice.
putting
I'll be
much
glad
more
to stay
effort
here
into
all
the
night.
visual polish of his work, and
Place
this
just-
particular game
might
took
be
2
getting a little
months
ahead
to
of yourself
create
there,
as a
no?
result.
When I start cleaning, then you decide whether you could do all night. I'll finish up here in the meantime. Could you please clear the plates? Clear the table! Okay. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? That's the bedroom. Oh, for some reason, that's pretty satisfying. That's weird. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out a rug a bit? All the little details matter. You enjoy being a house cleaner. How'd you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. I'll find out how you ended up doing the job. How'd you end up doing this job? A friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Once I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. I never did like cleaning my own home. I might got some demons. Ain't ready to face you. Oh, speaking of demons, someone put this couch all in a mess. You come out and straighten these pillows. Okay. Oh, there. Looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there. I feel compelled to share an incredible cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. Yeah, I'll try to get boy. You have to, so absolutely. Like, yeah! Make it especially cheesy. No, of course now, if we're still streaming, like, in the door, I'll be back on. Yeah, no, but like, take your time, man. Make it especially cheesy. No. No, stupid. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you not come do that? Why don't you come do that? Okay. Listen, clean. Last time we checked, the tub needs cleaning. I'm only doing it because I like the music. How about just rub it down as best as you can? No need to be perfect, we're all just human. There's still books scattered on the floor in the bedroom. If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Perfect. Now then, how would you come and clean these dishes off
After
the
the
table?
intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing.
Did it though?
It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you.
Now then, how about you?
And
House cleaning
eventually
is so difficult. How do you
cohere
do
into
it?
something
Are all these
meaningful.
houses this easy? Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have to absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. Why don't we do? Why do we do? I'm fucking dyslexic.
I know that Coda
So
really
why
liked
don't
this
we be with the task at
Love his
hand
work,
and leave the
actually.
future
This was
chores the
only one
future
that
you?
He called me up to
Hasn't
ask
you-
me to come over and look at it.
Isn't
This
you
was during a
wants to
period of
smooth out the
few months
rug in the
where he was,
bedroom?
like,
Believe it or not, trust
Mostly
me on
happy
this one.
all the time, just walked around
Yeah.
with a constant smile on his face.
Looks like the tub has gotten rather dirty, which I mind tidying it up a bit. We did it though. Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought. Not to say that occurred to me that one house is a lot like one soul. Take care of it and it takes care of you, eh? I don't know why I felt so weird about saying it. Look, Eric, that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met. Yeah, you're right, that's pretty cheesy. But there's a bit of truth in it, no? There's a bit of truth in it. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. So is this him walking out his issues? Oh goodness, those pillows
I'm
over
glad
by
he
the
made
couch
this.
are a real mess.
I'm glad he found some peace.
Go over, straighten them up a bit. Can't have this house going home to it. That's my man. Did it! What? Get in there, the one was trying to question.
But,
You
of
enjoy
course,
this.
it can't last. The
Ah!
music stops, your companion is gone,
I looked
it's
at the
time to
music.
leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
So in that game, he's kind of getting a bit of closure. And then, boom, back to the start. But that game was killed. The music in that game was fucking awesome, by the way. We really enjoyed it. Clean, I know, that's weird.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle
And there's
doors,
the
right?
ramp again.
That sooner or later you have to pick up and move.
Sorry if I'm looking down this way too, that's
I
where
really
Chad
thought
is.
that was the point of it.
Sorry. If you're looking directly at you or over you, that's what people say. Why are you looking over
This
me?
one gets a
fucking
bit
this, I
goofy.
don't know. Fuck. Why did you come here today? Because I'm playing video games. Was it to improve your life? Yes. Is it to get a better job? Yes. Is it to make a relationship more meaningful? No. You came here to be perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person's a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Who to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. The question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it? Effort. I can't fucking say it. This is easy.
About
It's
halfway
so
through
easy.
the game,
It's
the
so
perspective
easy.
shifts.
Being perfect is effortless. I said it. Yo, man, what the fuck? That's what the teacher's been saying. Holy shit.
And you play as the teacher. And
This is
suddenly,
the key.
you
How do I
discover that
achieve
your
it?
teacher
No
is
effort.
just
Otherwise
as
it won't
bigoted and
compel
afraid
any
as
person
you
to
are.
start
Oh, and
contributing to
also you can
society.
move around the classroom now.
Kids should not follow their dreams. So, let's press 2. I'm guessing you just have to go with yellow. That's correct. By the way, well, let me tell you right now. If it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. There's a big black fucking hole at the back of the classroom. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solution for your life, you're not doing it. We can move around the bus. Seek out only one thing. What's the easiest, simplest path forward? There is no truth, there is no pain. Oh shit, this game is deep. Do what's easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true, what if I'm not a good teacher, holy shit, you was something was coming out of the back of the classroom, look, after I picked number 3. Oh shit, fucking big black hole! It's coming for you, it's coming to destroy you, everyone run, everyone, nothing, no one. Big ass black hole!
Hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Oh,
This
we're
one
of
took
the
a lot
escape
longer than
games.
all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Stage! I can hear that. Oh man, what the shit, we thought we got shot there for a second. We're putting on a show? Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In the scene, you'll be playing as me. We are at gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against the wall. But stay right there. The woman across the room is in the chair. Professional photographer of animals. Drink the Photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Oh? Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. I'm not good at starting conversations. I need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do her again. Super scared right now. I look you. Heard all my hopes and dreams. Heard all my hopes and typical conversation. No, that's not what I said to her at all. Completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what we wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment where I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby, and I'll talk to her again. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. I'll bet you learned to lean into the pain or some sacrifices you had to make. You're messing it all up again. I'll figure out the conversation against that person too. Oh man, this is my biggest fucking nightmare. You don't realise how important this was for me. I'll never get another opportunity like this. Everything was riding on it. I want to try something. Who's stepping back from the stage? Where's that lamp again? Oh shit, we're back in prison. It looks like I'll just keep walking, see what happens. Okay, yes, now this
The
is
game
what
ends with this eerie
like.
premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
Closing in.
But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
So this is where I'm guessing he started realising that his friend is going through some shit. If he was going from making so many games in a month to taking progressively a large amount of time between those games, he was either making his games good or shit was going down and he didn't tell anyone. Obvious trip, to play this game properly you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Man, I can't hear that. I can hear it, I can't see it. Why did I go blind? I'm fucking closing my eyes. I don't know why. Why did it happen to me? You can't see anything either. Can't do something, can you fix it? I don't want to crash. How do you solve this? Shit, I died!
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Yeah.
And there is a solution, by the way.
The only way to stop it is to speak something that's honest. I'm bursting with creative energy. I can't keep making this. My work is always fun. Oh no, that isn't trouble. Fucking died again. Open up! The only way is to speak something true. 2. I'm guessing 2. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. We can't keep making these. I don't feel anymore.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from?
Keep going, keep talking.
But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for it. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out.
Oh, damn!
After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Actually, I miss audios. Hello, where am I? What is this? Ooh. Where'd this all come from? How did we get out here? Hello, is anyone there? It's that person, how lovely. It's been a long time since I've talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. Keep up the great work, brother. Thanks, Dana. I love you. Completely out of my days. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. Oh no, what's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going. Stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start again. There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. Wait, you're looking for the machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. Well, you have to take me to it. I need to see it to know where it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes.
I can take you, but there's a problem. It's guaranteed.
His work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder, even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I tried to click 3 and it just said Dale. This bloke is going through some shit. If I come along and show it to you.
Because, from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Press the switch on the inside. It's becoming like a recurring thing that everyone wants to know. In his games, everyone wants to know how to get through this door. But at the start, he doesn't actually show us it. His friend did. So is this a thing where he's saying in himself that he's trapped and he doesn't know how to get out of it? First, you have to open the door. Okay, now you have to close the first door. Alright, what's next? I'll just press the switch here.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness.
That was simple. I can't believe I've never solved it before this.
You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
I left a gift to my work. Hello, is anyone there? I can't believe I've never solved it before this. Okay, here we are. What are you talking about? There's no machine here. These are just words on the wall. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous. And that you love it 100% of the time. Okay, making games is simple, sure. Making games is easy, alright. Making games is effortless. We want to push it to the limit. So we're going to pick all the wrong answers just to see what it says. Because I guarantee it's going to change it. Making games is effortless. Oh shit, I didn't think I'd do that. Ah, that feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Why did the walls just crumble? Why did I feel so awful when I said it? I know why the walls crumbled. Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. When I make games, I feel completely energized. I'm constantly excited and enthusiastic about my works. It is easy and never stops being easy. Constantly excited and enthusiastic about my work. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep
Seeing
going.
this game at the time that he made it, it looked
So
really
to me, he's feeding this machine lies.
I was watching
He doesn't
him do this
like
to himself. and I
building
hated
games
it.
anymore.
I hated seeing him so trapped.
Yes, that's
like
wonderful. Keep going. Every time I feel something,
Video
feel
games
bad about
are
myself,
not
just
worth
never
this
stop
amount
creating
of
and
suffering.
you'll never feel bad. It's such a simple solution. But that's the thing, it's not. There's shit out there that some people find it easy, and then there's some people struggling to do it. Perfect. That feels
This is someone I
fantastic.
really cared about. And
Oh,
I
this
used
is
to get so
helpful.
much
I'm going to
joy out of
pause it.
seeing him create.
I'm going to
For him
vomit.
to suddenly become angry
Please,
and
where's this
frustrated
machine?
like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Patience, you have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please continue. Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifice made for my work, the worth of 100%, it always pays off eventually. Which it does. It always pays off eventually. You put that, as I don't know who said it to me. My ma, my dad, wonder.
I don't know.
Granddad.
This is what I felt at the time.
You put into
I don't
life
know
what you
how
grow
else to
with.
explain it.
No,
I wanted it to stop.
you can't outlive
more
what you
than
put
anything.
into it. That just
I
still,
never
what the
felt so
fuck's wrong with us?
I needed more than I
It
had
always
ever
pays off
needed
eventually.
anything
Yes,
for
more,
this
keep going.
to
There's
stop.
no shame, no fear, no guilt. But we say by my work. I believe this unquestionably. I'm a vessel for certainty. I'll be saved by my work. Incredible. That's it. I'm free. Free. Can you walk over? No? Holy shit! You don't fucking know the game's going on. Where are we going? It's crumbling the walls behind us. Now it's back to the lamp. Back to the prison.
But it didn't stop. After
Yeah, I'm just
finishing
gonna
this
put it
one,
out there. I'm gonna start
Coda
crying
takes
again.
another
This is
7
not I feel the
months
person
and comes up
turning
with a
up
new
on.
game.
Because there's so much shit he's going through. He's putting all into his games. And at the start he said he didn't show anyone this. Well, I'm glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine that's waiting for you. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. I intend to be quiet. I intend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. When we get to see the machine, ma'am, can you give us an answer? Will it be punished? Please give us an answer. Do you know where the poison games come from? What are your next actions? Where's the machine now? How did you capture it? What can you tell us? Fuck hell. Where's the machine?
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. Stop feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. These people out there, can you imagine what pain you put them through? It was only because of your creation that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? So here's what needs to happen. You need to go to the people who are out there and apologise to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer for being so alone. Rule number 3. Being so alone, apologise for leaving me. No, think carefully. I know how hurt. I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you fear. Who we first? Alright then, I'll apologise to the people on your behalf. They just shut the machine off. My followers, my friends. My friends! Falls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. Falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologise to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. The machine will not apologise to us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live out it. We do not need its games. Stronger than it thinks are, we do not need its games. We'll find a way to live out, we do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution, let us show it that we are not failures. Rule number 2. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. And just like that, he's back out on stage. Holy shit. Oh, I'll make sure you walk those hair code. I'll make sure you are known forever. So he's actually destroying his own work. Isn't that what you're scared of? Exposed to the view of others.
So now the
every day
work is
forever,
becoming
seen in the
self-destructive.
naked clarity.
And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
I say this will hurt you. After all, putting like the amount of time, effort in, and then just destroying, oh, well.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely
Shit,
loved
I
his
missed
work.
the switch.
There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
God damn it. Put down your weapon. I'll have to
Can you
shoot the
see
machine.
why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
It made Dave feel happy. Let's see how it made Coda feel.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then...
What the
really,
fuck
he
was
just
starting to
kind of
turn up? Like,
takes
Jesus
off for a
Christ.
while. So this is June of 2011.
People are probably sitting there
And
like,
I didn't
why
hear
is he
anything
crying?
from
It's
him
like,
for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
June 2011. The Tower. So this is the last game that you ever made. Hello?
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, The Tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
I say it is. I say it is.
This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Thank you.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
We have numbers.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
151617. Shit. Ah, balls. Fucking serious. Who's thirsty? We're slowly moving up the tower.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Thank you, Dave.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
See, he told you them 3 dots mean something. They're in every level. Told you, this isn't just a pretty face. And he stirs.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games.
I am the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did.
Holy fucking shit, man. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games and need to ask you not to speak to you anymore. Ask you not to speak.
I don't think I ever told you this,
whether you think
but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
You've so infected my personal
space. The people who played
possible,
them, they treated me like I was important.
Hidden between games.
They really listened and cared about what I had to say.
There was an
Even though I was showing your work, it was...
make you any happier.
I felt good about myself.
Would you stop taking my games and showing them to
for
people
a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Even there's something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Stop changing my games. Stop adding the lamppost to them. He was adding the lampposts.
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself.
When I'm around you, I feel
and as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all.
Desperately need something.
Nothing.
And I cannot give
Less
it to you.
than nothing.
I literally do not have it.
What does that mean?
Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. The low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than me. I realise that this doesn't make sense to you, Touche. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do not hope But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you'll make peace with this thing you're wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like
And you
myself.
finally see what I am talking about. Don't say anything. Shit, I forgot to close the door.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing. You put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Epilogue. Whoops! Whoops! I hope you guys are looking this, by the way. Am I going anywhere?
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
That's how the game ends, with just going on the train. Go off somewhere. No, we'll walk through the train.
Solution.
This house is pretty nice.
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Oh, sand. Hello, the sand. And this is like foundation for a building. You have the foundation, you have like the big fucking...
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. what now?
Shit myself there, I thought I was gonna die.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Back in the deserts. It's where he started the game. My ass is going dead. That timing. Beacon. Beacon. Vote again. Oh, I heard thunder. I don't like it. And why am I so fucking itchy? It is thunderstorming. Jesus. Like that. We're floating! Holy shit. Holy fuck! Goes on forever. Yeah, we're still floating.
Turn back,
Or holy shit, man.
turn back from this cave. You said, let me
This
prove
project would
that
not be possible
I'm
without following
brave.
individuals.
Let
Matthew
me
Green, Roy Road,
keep
Dana
going.
Harden, Richard Flanagan, Parsons. He's the guy that created the Stanley
But
Pyramid.
the cave goes for
Poor back.
miles and miles and miles. And you're so
Shit,
tired, but I know that you're strong.
Not the
So turn back.
Then we're back at the very start of the game. Guys, I'm going to leave this live stream here. We complete the whole game, which is crazy. In my opinion, if it's a different watching it the stream, that's different. There's one that check the game. It's called the Beginner's Guide. Check her out. I've had to give it. I'd give her a rating 9 out of 10. So guys, leave a like, subscribe to join the Insomniac gang because gamers never sleep, and I will see you in the next live stream or video. Thank you very much.